everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are live at the Shar Music booth in Louisville, Kentucky, the home of the ASTA and Symphony of America's conference. First time ever these two organizations have joined together. I have the pleasure of speaking with Lori Niles from Violinist.com today. My name's Jenny Lewis. I'm the Director of Sales from Shar Music. I'm so excited to get to meet you and spend time with you today. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. What can you tell us about what inspired you to create Violinist.com?
Oh, well, it's kind of crazy. I had a background as a journalist, actually as a newspaper reporter, and also as a violinist. And Violinist.com was something we started in 1996, so right at the beginning of the internet. And it was sort of a marriage of these two things that I love, music and journalism. And it allowed me to not be a music critic. Instead, I could be a music advocate and write about everything that I love about the violin and go as granular as I wanted, be a total geek about it and find that audience online and hopefully. So it's been a wonderful thing for me. I've really enjoyed doing.
Isn't it wonderful to be able to take your true passion and make a career out of it? It's so joyful.
It was because I didn't see it coming. The internet didn't exist when I went down this path of doing journalism and playing the violin separately. For a while, I was like in a symphony orchestra while I was a newspaper reporter, and they never really came together. So that was a neat thing for me.
Wonderful. We know you've done tons of interviews with lots of artists. Have you found a common thread or quality in those artists that you feel like is unique to the artist itself?
Yeah, well, I have two books of interviews, and they're very simply called Violinist.com Interviews, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And so I've interviewed, and beyond that, I've done just hundreds of interviews for Violinist.com, including its CEO, Charles Afsharian, but other people like Gil Shaham and Rachel Barton Pine, and I could go all day. But anyway, what do they have in common? I would say the thing they have in common is they all have like a passion for what they're doing, but it can manifest in different ways. Like Rachel Barton Pine has a passion for finding like new repertoire and uncovering it. So she's done this Music by Black Composers series and everything. Gil Shaham, clearly he has like a passion for performing. So does Hilary Hahn. She has a passion for reinventing herself, and she commissioned all these encores, and Sarah Chang had a passion for the clothes that she wore on stage. It's just sort of different. When I'm interviewing someone, I try to get to the point where they start talking about their passion. Sometimes I don't start at that point, and I just keep asking questions until they're talking about something and I can see they're lighting up and that they're really passionate about it. And then I know I've got something to write about. So
we definitely have passion in common with one another, for sure. When you're thinking about the future of violin playing, what do you feel is the most important action we can take as business leaders to increase the participation in music?
Well, I know, at least for me, on Violinist.com, I like to uphold examples of excellence for people to aspire to. And that might sound kind of like elitist, but that's not the way I mean it, because it's excellence in teaching. It's excellence in various genres of music, not just classical. Excellence in communication, excellence in community building, like the Suzuki program that has gotten a great deal of participation and energy. I'd like to hold that up so that people can understand and maybe recreate it in their own communities. So I think if we can help people find that, something I realized in my youngest students, because I'm a teacher too, is that they needed to play on an excellent small violin, and they exist. But not all little violins are created alike. So if you get a $25 violin, the child, their passion can wither away because they're trying so hard, but they actually cannot make a beautiful sound. So, things like, and parents don't know this, so saying like, look, no, and some teachers don't know it, like, this is out there. You can get an excellent violin, you can have excellence in your teaching community, You can go to an excellent performance. There's a whole bunch of repertoire you might not know about that's excellent. So I guess that's my way I think of going about it.
That's wonderful advice. Excellence in everything, right?
Yeah.
In your opinion, what is the future of violin playing? Do you have any thoughts on that?
That is a very general question.
Yeah, I know.
I think there is a future for violin playing. If I do think that we're sort of inundated with this technology, but I think we also like to be in the real world. We like to do things with each other. Music is one of the few things that we can do together that's not harmful at all to anyone. It's like a wonderful human activity that brings people together. So I think the future of violin playing, I think we just have to be very open-minded about what that means. And I think we have to go in the directions that it's taking us, finding different voices and new genres of music to play, new ways of teaching it, but also with a degree of a sense of the history. It's 400-year-old technology at this point. But it's still it's a design that still really works. It makes a beautiful sound that's like the human voice. It's really hard to beat, and so I see it in very, very young people who start the violin. There's wonder. They love it. When they can achieve something on it, it's something they want to do. So
thank you for that. Yeah. So my next question is kind of about evolving and growing. So some people believe if you're not evolving, you're not growing.
Yes.
How do you think we in the string industry can adapt to change this year and beyond in order to grow and support these events?
Well, I think we can embrace change and not resist it. I guess that's the biggest thing, and it's hard to change. Like even the Suzuki method, we've got this sequence of pieces that we play, but I think we talk about adding to it and improving on it and finding more ways to include composers of color, female composers. I think also ASTACAP has looked at the repertoire that they require for their exams. That's another way of evolving, I think. So I think it's about staying in communication and also observing our young people and what lights them up, what are they enjoying about what we're doing, and going there, and also just creating communities. I think that is really the big thing that we have to do, whether it's getting children involved in youth orchestra or in Suzuki groups, or like this conference, bringing the teachers together. It's a wonderful thing. The Suzuki Association hasn't been able to be in person together for 6 years. And the energy that we get from each other and the encouragement, it's just, invaluable.
I agree. Any other words of wisdom?
Oh my
Please
gosh.
share.
My advice, practice every day.
Yes.
But maybe I just mean practice the thing that you love every day. It might not be violin, it might be writing, but it's easier to practice every day, this is what I tell my students, than to practice on some days. Just make it a habit to be doing the thing that you love every day. Even if it's only for 15 minutes, every day will get you there.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today, Lori. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure for me.
Very good.